here. But it's also a little bit more of a, we've invited some other people to the website today and to the webinar, not just traders, but people that are maybe, this is the first time you're really seeing is what we're doing and what we're about. Oops, sorry about that. We got a little signal system there. There we go. Got that silenced. We got a little bit of systems everywhere today. Sorry, let me turn off all the alerts that are all over the place. It's a crazy day today. In the trading world, it's the NFP, so we have a lot of crazy stuff happening today. But let's get started and talk about what we're going to talk about today. It looks like it's not very much, but it's actually going to get quite in depth today, okay? We're going to talk about the results in sort of a broad spectrum of what's happened over the week. We're also going to talk about revamping training and why this is so important and the growth potential for that for not just us, but for you guys as well. We're also going to talk about our system affiliate network. And if you're not sure what that is, I have to apologize, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a moment. And the money left on the table. That's right. We're talking about money left on the table today. Let's jump right in. But before we do, we got to talk about this. This company, this business, this whole scenario of everything we put together takes risk. It takes you to be able to put your own money in and be able to trade at certain levels at certain times. And there is also a possibility that you could lose. Okay, so we want to give you that warning. This isn't some pie in the sky kind of process. It takes work, it takes discipline, it takes risk. And we want to say that we want to guarantee things for you, but we can't. We can't guarantee things for you. One person can trade $1,000 and win $2,000, and another person can trade 1,000 and lose 1,000. It's really up to you and the market and the process. Our education that we try to give you pushes you to that process of learning what risk management learns how to do it. But ultimately, it comes really down to you, and all results may vary. We want you to use this system as trade assistance only. You know, having a signal company that provides you not just the signal, but later on a way to trade the signal and make the signal yourself so you can go on and make your own process for yourself is unheard of. So all results may vary. That's basically what it comes down to. Okay, I want to take you over to the site and I want to show you. Some of you are brand new here. Some of you may know who we are. That's okay if you're just bear with us just for a little bit, and we'll get to the good parts here for you in just a moment. But our site and our system is all designed around inventory and the possibility of trade. Okay, let's have a look. Now, if we get over to a part of the process here, okay, as soon as you come to the site of getting to your wherever your signals may be, whether you're a pro member, a Max Live member, or what have you, okay? It all comes down to one thing, is your availability to trade and what to trade and your knowledge behind what we put out as signals. And I hope that all of you know that no matter if you're in Pro Series or in Max Live Series, this system is not about taking every single trade, okay? Some of you will take some of the trades, some of you will take a majority of the trades or signals, but it's not about us taking every single signal that we put out. Myself as the owner, and Amy and Brian, we tout this process because it's about the knowledge, it's about the data, right? It's not about us taking, we had somebody in chat the other day say, well, you're telling me that these are fake trades? These aren't trades, these are signals. The top of the site does not say DEX trades, it says DEX signals. And we offer this availability to provide these signals in a direction with a probable course of direction. It's not about every single one of them being a winning trade where you get money to it, especially the ones that are on live max signals. There's some that may never yield an amount on Nadex, okay? There's some trades, like you see some signals that we have in here, when it has a larger potential of growth, may not come back and grab what we call a working order. Even on the pro side, the dailies are all meant for working orders. The intradays are done at a lower grade of range, and that range has that availability to get more money on the signals when they come out. Let me show you. Happy Friday. Daily signals are like this, right? We depict a range and we call either that it's going to be below this one or above this range wherever we're at, right? Depending on which direction it is. The probability of what we call the dominant direction of a buy or a sell will come off of one of these sides of the range of a limit, right? And this is where that strike price is at. Okay, so if we've called it for a sell coming off of this strike price off of the market, there's too many variables to put in there, whatever it is, okay? And when we call it off of that, these daily signals will expire 6 times a day, but usually about 2.5 to 2 hours in time frame, sometimes an hour and a half. Okay, we call them dailies because they're off of the daily system in Nadex. Okay, and you'll some of you are here brand new, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now the intradays are called with a slighter range like this. Let me redo that. The intradays are called with a smaller range like this, right? But it's the same concept. We call it off of a side. We give you a strike number and we give you an expiry. But the intradays happen on the hour. And they're done off of the intraday signals or intraday strikes inside Nadex. The 2020s are done even with a slighter amount, and in doing so we still give the same thing. We give that call off of that process. Now here you could put in a WO, a working order, and take an opportunity that maybe 20% of them are going to fill at that point. 20 to 30% is the actual norm, depending on the pair. Here you want to kind of really, in the intradays, you really want to look and stay on top of these trades because there's a process within there that, yes, even though that it's a slighter range and you have more potential of 50 to 60, maybe 70% of these filling, you still have more of a risk of loss. Risk of loss here is low, medium, and high. You getting it? So bigger the range, lower the risk. Lower the range, bigger the risk. Okay, hopefully you've gotten that. So the concept here overall for this company is how much data, how much inventory can we get you? Okay. So as you can kind of see going back through maxx's signals, there's a high potential rate of success. Now, every time there's a loss, if you've put a WO in, there's that possibility of loss. So you can stay on top of it by watching it as well. But it all really depends on what type of trader you are. Are you a set and forgetter? Now, if you traded today, you probably had 2 losses. If you traded these 2, but you were trading right in the middle of the NFP, the non-farm payroll, which we give you warning, we train you what to do, what to watch out for. If you were in the rooms, you knew not to trade on these. This is very difficult time. Even yesterday with the high-end news that was happening last night and yesterday morning. But again, these could be considered natural losses. Before that, without any major news inflection, you had very limited losses with lots more wins. Okay. We also had started the room up for 20-minute binaries. Now this week was a very tough week, again, because you were in a NFP regional time period. So there was a lot of fluctuation and market movement. So there was more of a interchange. I probably didn't shift over, did I? Nope. We shifted over to the 20-minute market as well. Okay. So there was a lot more room calling in. There was a lot, there's a lot more market movement in that time. DibsX came on board in the process over the last week. And what we have done here is that it's about data collection for DibsX. We wanted to be able to release it last week, but we didn't have enough data. And what I mean by data is it takes data to be able to produce what we there's one part of it that's predictive for the algorithm, right? That we know with all the back testing of all the things that have happened, each one of these grids becomes, information for us as the market moves ups and down, right? And we know that for a fact. Okay, we know what's happened in the past and where that information comes from. But there's also a process called forward testing. And in forward testing, there is such a way of gathering information, okay? Because you can back test as much as you want, right? But once you start to forward test, testing in a live format, where the algorithm trips a signal and it's a win or a loss at that point. With our system, what we have created with DibsX for binaries, because they come out at current price, okay, we've created this platform, as you've probably noticed before, time and price, right? Time being the example here of the vertical lines, price being the horizontal lines, the market moving during certain period of times. So each one of these boxes becomes a set of data information. Doesn't matter what time frame it's on. And as that data starts to compile itself, we then start to get a pattern of recognition for our system. At certain times a day, when does the algorithm work best? At certain times of open and closes, with what news does it get inflected with? Something I neglected to tell you guys as well, we've made a news filter. I've been very busy over the last, that looks terrible. I look like a third grader trying to write up here. My screen's skipping. We've made a news filter. So with the news filter, we're also going to be looking at how can we inject and remove times where we would provide inventory at heavier news. Now, someone asked me the other day, why would you even put out signals in heavy news? Why would you put out signals if you thought they were going to lose? Well, because it's all data. And we need that data for what's about to happen. And plus, not everybody trades the way you do. You may take ones that were only 96% in success and above, where somebody else might take them at 92. You see, in this world of trading, it does come back down to that you are the only difference of success in anything that you do. Some of you maybe heard me say that before. Maybe been on other webinars where I've talked about the clock on the wall theory. And what's the difference between 50-50 and anything else that's out there? And it is you. It's you making those decisions. That's what tips the scale. maxx Signals too had a little bit of a rough week with a couple of losses today. And we were working with Paul throughout the week. He got sick over the last couple of days and hasn't been in there calling them in the morning. And that's okay. These things happen. It's a trader's lifestyle. As you begin to go through the process, you'll begin to get more information and build your knowledge. And we're going to talk about that here in a moment. Normally I have, the last couple of times, I haven't been putting a lot of emphasis on the overall success of all of them, because most of you know that you don't get into every signal, and the numbers really become transparent, if you will, and don't really show you the true nature of the system. One person's success overall, missing out on certain signals, may not look as good as somebody who was able to take them all, or take a certain amount of them, of course, inside their time of being able to trade. So from now on, I will try to show the results on ones that I feel are extremely active. I'm probably going to start showing more customer results than I will of company results. All right, that's my time for this part of the segment. Let's get on to the next one. In this part, I want to talk about building and revamping. We're going to be revamping the training area. And the reason being that we're going to be revamping the training area is because in everything that we have been building, we've been building around the center of trying to train and help as many people as possible and to give you knowledge. And we have tried to be very forthcoming and free-flowing with information. There's a tremendous amount of it in here, as you guys can see. Okay. This series alone is worth a tremendous amount of money for somebody that knows how to come on board. This is basically the trader's mind is the foundation to every trader that should be here right now. If you haven't gone through this series, everybody gets it, pro and max signals alike. If you haven't gone through this series, then you've missed out. You've left the money on the table. And what we've noticed is that when new people come on board, they come on board with sort of an intent. It's almost to navigate past what's the obvious, right? And I can tell these type of traders when they show up in the chat rooms on the trader rooms and start asking a bunch of questions like, you know, what's a WO and how come I can't seem to find a good price on Nadex for the signal? How come there's so many signals, but they all show wins, but I lost, or I didn't get in at that one, or I didn't use the proper price, and they have a lot of novice questions. I begin to notice that people sort of skip past the actual intent of the orientation. So what we want to do is that we've been doing this for a while now. Even with you guys coming on board and coming in, we've been watching people navigate past training. We've been listening to chat conversations in the system as well as on support and compiling direct questions that have been asked and answered in repetition so we could make a better system. So when you come on board now, there are going to be certain levels that you'll be coming on board with, right? We already know what some of them are. We know that we have DIBS X, right? This is for international binary people. We have the Pro Series, okay? And then we have maxx signals. Remember that maxx signals is just more about the trading style. It's not me personally, Max, being in there and hand feeding you trades all day. But what it does do, it will give you the best of the best that will be in there. And having Paul in there trading and having other people that will be taking over and trading in there gives you an opportunity to follow behind what they do as well. Paul being a professional scalper in the process. So multiple different types of mentality in that room. Each one of these will have their own training module, of course. Each one of these will have its own training module, but also its own mentality that it's going to be using. Along with each one of those training modules for DIBS, Pro, and Maxx Signals, there's going to be two other one-time products because each one of those products, okay, each one of these memberships has its own price. 87, 87, and 147. Keep this in mind for later. I'll be referring back to this later on when we talk about affiliation. There'll also be two major systems as well being added. Elite, and Senior. Okay, and these two being added will be basically a milestone for you. When you first show up and you're here to learn about trading or being a part of the system, you're going to go through orientation, you go through all your basic stuff. But the concept of advancing depends on what level you want to get to. If you want to be an elite trader, you're going to learn certain things from us that are going to be very far advanced past where you're probably at right now. You're going to learn more tips and tricks on MetaTrader or using charting systems and different indicators and different strategies. This is if you're elite. If you want just to be elite. Now, what does elite and senior mean in the difference? Well, elite is more for yourself just to be just to get to that next level for yourself and trading for yourself, using the advanced systems to increase the profit margins and capabilities and your ROI, your return on investment, for yourself. And this gives you an elite status, especially if I see you in a room, I know that you have paid for this marker. If you've, now all of you that are here that are elites and senior already, okay, you're getting all these for free anyway. And if you're already a customer right now, you have an opportunity to get into these later on at half off. Okay, anybody who's a customer right now, because or even a payment program or whatever else you need, we're going to be able to help you as much as possible. Okay, but for anybody else who's coming into the company from this point on, this is all they're going to know here after Tuesday. Elite is for you to advance yourself to a point to where it's all about you making what you need to make for you. And that's okay. I'm a firm believer in making it for yourself before you can make it better for anybody else. I'm also a firm believer that you have to make it before you make it easy. And elite will get you there. Now, this costs $197. Okay. That seems steep, but it's actually not in this world. Not for the training that's going to be in there. Not for the consults that you'll have with that. You'll get private consults, actually. Not just with myself, but with other senior traders, depending on what type of trader you are. If you're a scalper, you'll get a professional consult with and training by Paul, who's one of our most advanced scalpers in there, and we'll be working with him with that system. If you're more of a set and forgetter and more technical, there's other senior traders that we have that can help you with that byline of information. But for the most part, a lot of that information is already going to be in this system. There will be over 40 training courses in Elite. 40. From all kinds of stuff, from strategy to advanced tech on indicators, from advanced tech on platforms as far as NinjaTrader that we're bringing on, and Sink or Swim. Okay, so there's a lot of, or think or swim, or, in that process. There's a lot that's going to be involved in that. And the system's very powerful. We do have payment plans for that kind of stuff as well, because we know that not everybody's made of money. It takes money to make money, of course, and we want to be able to help out as many people as possible. Now, if Elite is all about you, then Senior is to that next level of Zen, right? It's that you're here about you, you're learning, but it's more of us at this point, okay? You want to be a part of our network, working with us, building out a program and system for you to be able to work with us within the network, trading and working with other individuals, because listen, with what we're bringing on in this weekend and into next week, there's thousands of people coming. And at first we got real excited that we were going to release some things and bring a lot of people, but then we started to look at the workload, the actual load on the website and what we needed to do and the training values and all that stuff, and we had to take a step back. We had to relook at what we were about to do. Could we handle 1,000? Could we handle 2,000? What happens if it blows up and hits 10,000? Do we have the staff and the seniors and the people that are there? I started to reach out to certain people for them to take on certain jobs, and we needed to make sure that these rooms would be available and this time would be available. So Senior is about us training you on the more secretive side of what we do. And I mean secretive, I mean as far as how the algorithm works, how the trade systems work, how to call your own 2020 signals, how to call your own intraday and dailies and all that kind of stuff. And we teach at that level, okay? And this is $297. Now, keep in mind that these are standalone products, and you can't have Senior unless you have Elite. That's the way it goes. Yes, I know that looks like a lot of money. Again, we have payment plans. We have other things that you can do. I think we have like a 3-month and a 6-month. It's really about that process, but there's just, it has to be done because it takes time and money to build these and work these and have people in there. And we need to make sure that we're bringing the right kind of mentalities into this company. Now, why would you pay to be a part of this company? Well, it's simply enough. This is like your real estate license. This is like your process to be a part of the company and for us to be able to work with you over that time. Of course, you'll get a super reduction on any signal stuff that you're generating. So if you need signals from the company or maxx signals, you want to keep the pro in there, so you have all that stuff. That's all included. It's included, but there's another charge underneath there for per month. So this is a one-time. These are one-time fees overall, right? Unless you're doing a payment plan. And then there's a smaller fee, much smaller than anything that's in it. I'm not sure what it is yet. I know it's going to be between 47 and 87 in the process. I think it's right around that 87 mark, $67, $87. But it's like that desk fee you would have if you're at a real estate agency. Okay. And those pay for a tremendous amount of things for yourself as well. Now, in senior, there's not just going to be information given to you for the process, but you have an opportunity to work yourself into a partnership with the company where you get a small percentage of the profit share of the company. And that's what that's for. But if you only want to be elite, then you just stay elite. If you don't even want to be elite, you just want to take signals and you're getting them on the phone and you're doing whatever you're doing to make a couple extra bucks, that's okay too. We're here for you. So in revamping the training, we're committing to our own personal growth as a company. And for you to learn and develop and become successful, you need to do exactly that too. You need to develop and revamp and build. We want to be able to teach you these things as we learn them as well, because we're going through personal development. We're learning new things about ourselves as owners. We're advancing as owners. Remember, we're you. We're just later versions of you. We started out in this company building this network as a trader, as a person who's just like you, looking for something more, looking for something better, looking for something transparent. And that's what we have become. So you should know, if it works for us, if it works for even just one person, it can work for everybody. But you have to follow the discipline behind it. You can't personally develop and progress unless you have change. Every new thing added changes who you are. We've listened to the people. We've shifted our process. We've looked at all different types of things on what we can do without making it overbearing and complicated. Remember, we're the masters of taking complicated and making it simple. I don't want to add a whole bunch of complication back into it. That's madness. But we want to develop you into a strong, reliable, masterful trader, and that's where you're going with this. So be patient and hang on. It's about to get crazy. Okay. I got a minute early. I timed out about 15 minutes per each one of these segments. I got to apologize. And I'm going to say this with all sincerity. Most of you don't know what the affiliate network is. Most of you don't understand the power and the money that's being left on the table. If you're an affiliate with this company, if you're a member of this company, you're an affiliate. And when I went in there last week and I only saw 3 people truly trading information, 4, maybe up to 6 people total for the month, but 3 people all last week trading any information out there, promoting or doing anything, I began to wonder how well as a company did we really promote this, and we didn't. Remember, there's only 3 of us running the company with a couple other support people. So a total of about 6 people running this multi-million-dollar company at the moment. So the concept here for all of you is, how can we grow to better help all of you? Let me show you, okay? The idea of working this process is that you're a trader, right? And what do traders need? They need money, right? They need money. And if you're starting out and you're learning, okay, and you're learning the process, you should be sharing the process as well. I'm not talking crazy, promotion stuff. If you wanted to, there's opportunity there for you. Crap, in the very beginning, there's probably more opportunity in making money and directive money than there is trading at the point. We have one gentleman, right? And I'll show you here in just a moment what it looks like. But he came to Brian a couple months ago, and he says, "What can I do to promote this page better? What can I do to get this link out there?" And Brian gave him like 4 or 5 hints and showed him a few things with doing some websites and how to do a couple small things here. Building websites can be complicated, but again, where the masters are taking complicated, making it simple. And when Brian did this and showed him, it took him like 20, 30 minutes to show him. He's one of our lead affiliates right now. And he doesn't really do much with it. He just set it up and kind of let it go and do its thing. And Brian shows him how to push it every once in a while. And I'll show you what the numbers look like here in a minute. But as a trader, you need money. Now, does anybody here think that if you promote for us, is that self-serving? No, it's not at all. Affiliates shouldn't be scared of promotion. Business people shouldn't be scared of promotion. And you're going to find out what that difference is here in just a few minutes. But your concept as somebody who's here, you're a business person, right? You're a business mentality. If you're not, you're stuck in either one of 3 mentalities. You're either employee, self-employed, or an entrepreneur. And I got to tell you, depending on how you shift that mentality is how successful you're going to be here soon. So in promotion, it's important for you to understand that you need money. We need more customers so we can build even more. Because every dollar brought in to our company on our side for profit margin, because remember, there's only 3 of us in the main seats of the company, 4 and 5, maybe 6 with other secondary partners. And there's a whole nother group of individuals that are involved with that process. But literally every profit margin dollar that's brought in for the company is spent on development of the company. That's right, every dollar. Because in these first beginning years, we need to make sure that we develop the system so strong and the foundation behind it so strong that it can never go anywhere. Because none of this means squat if it disappears in a year. I'm not about to put all this work and all this effort and all this surviving into just a year's worth of work or 2 years worth of work. I'm here for the long haul. I'm here to turn this business over to my kids and grandkids. I'm only 47, but I've seen a lot. I even use the affiliate program, and I'll even show you my own account in there. I make $587 a month from it. So the concept is you got to get in there and start utilizing the things that we have already in front of us. Our affiliate program is 2 tiers, right? The first tier you get is you're paid 30% on. Our second tier, which means that if you come on board, you're already on board if you're a member, but if you're not a member and you're here and you come on board, it's free to sign up. It doesn't cost you anything, right? But you come on board and we have 30% commission that you get paid for everybody that you bring in, right? 30% commission. Reoccurring. So how much is that? If you bring in 1 person for Dibs X, right? Sorry. It's about $26, right? It's about $26. And then of course you got a maxx one, which is let's see, It's about 44 bucks there, right? Reoccurring. So in all actuality, which one pays the best? But it's the maxx signals one. Now you bring somebody in and you got them at, they're in it at the 147 mark. You're making about 44 bucks, 40 to 42, 40, I can't even talk, 40 to 44 bucks, right? What happens when they advance, right? You got about 58 bucks here, right? And you got about 88 bucks here, somewhere like that, I think. Just fast math. Sorry. Probably should use Common Core, but it'd take me an hour and a half to figure it out. 89 bucks down below to 297, so I wasn't too far off. And $59 up there, so I was $1 off on each one. Right, so 59 and 89. Okay, now this is not reoccurring, this is one time, so. But even if you brought in 10 people, got 10 people in over a period of time, you'd make about 440 bucks every month. And it may not mean a lot to you. It may not be the grand scheme of things of how much money do you need, how much money you want to make. It may not mean a lot to you, but to some it means everything. Because 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people, what does it mean for you? Well, I'll tell you one thing. It means that we're advancing like gangbusters in our company, because that's another 10, 20, 30 people that are inside the system, making it work, putting more promotion out, getting up to these elite and senior trader levels, and helping us figure out even more ways and more things to trade. There's power in numbers. There's an army being built. And that army needs to be able to combat all this other BS that's out there in the world. This is what's happening right now. What does it look like when it's done right? Well, even halfway, okay, this affiliate has 10 sales that he has. 278 bucks a month he brings in for himself. Now, of course, some of these, they're lower things because it was back when, maybe he got the commission when it was on low, but this is just for August, it looks like. Yeah, it's all just for August. Okay. But the people that he brought on may have been at the lower rates of, like 73 bucks, or because you made on a commission on the 50% off and all that stuff. So for the month of August, he made 278 bucks. Now he also has a membership with us under Maxx Signals, and so he gets that deducted right from it. So he doesn't pay anything. And then he was dividend out 131 bucks. And this only took him 2 months to get to. And he trades. You don't even really see him in the room. He trades on his personal time at night. And this was done by somebody who has no experience. That just spending just a couple minutes with Brian and myself learned a heck of a lot to do this. We tell him all the time, if you ramp it up a little bit and you do this, this, and this, and I think it's that next level he's looking for. He feels he's going to quadruple his amounts this month. What we just showed you was done with one website process. And not even a single Facebook campaign was put out for it. So there's a lot of work behind what we do. But if you put just a tiny bit of effort in, you can get results like that. If you imagine if you just went all in on it, what could you do? The big question is for everything you do, and this is also for training, right? This is also for helping to personally develop who you are and what we have learned. As I personally grow throughout my lifestyle and learning, I want to be able to transfer that to you as well. But you have to ask yourself right now, what type of mentality are you? Right? You've all probably seen this out there. I think it's from Rich Man, Poor Man kind of stuff, right? If this quadrant of your world, you're an employee, and here you're self-employed, here you're a business person, and here you're an entrepreneur, And in this process, each one of these has a multitude of success waiting for you, right? Because by the time you get to this process, right? By the time you get to this process, you begins to find that you leverage a lot more of the things that you have. Here, you're leveraged completely, which means that somebody's leveraging you to do a job. Here in the self-employed, you're still leveraged by your customers, but you leverage somebody beneath you to be able to do a part of it. And if you become an affiliate with us, you're about right here, right from day one. The moment you say, I'm going to take Dex's products, the license from the process, and promote it out there, you're self-employed. And that has a completely different mentality than an employee. I don't want employees. I really don't want self-employed people either. I want partners. But you need to progress. Because what does this business person look like? What does this entrepreneur look like from that point of owning the business, of making something happening? Because at this level right here of being part of the company, let's grade this in, this is perfect for us. But I also want developers, people who want to help me develop the process and even further. Investment. This is more brick and mortar. This is we have an investment firm and we buy other businesses. We buy other think tanks and real estate and whatever else. This down here is where I'm ultimately shooting for myself right now. I'm moments away from that position right there. And I want to take as many of you with me through this process to there. I know that looks really confusing, right? I had to go back a million clicks just to get to this again. You're here. You started with us to make your own life to get to there. Here, you're about to join in that process. Okay? This is where you become elite, right? This is your elite status. And here's your senior status. And together we build this whole big world outside, even Dex. And this is the investment firm. This is OCI. This is Howard City Investments right here. You understand? So depending on what mentality you are, you have to make the decision today. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the weekend, maybe Tuesday, who knows? Where are you going to go with all of this? What are you here for? You can't be sitting over here going, where's my money? I said I wanted to do it. What are you prepared to do it? You know what I was prepared to do? I leveraged my house. I leveraged my friends. I talked to everybody I could possibly do. I work 16-hour days. I show up my business every day. I still enjoy my family because I work at home. I still enjoy my life because I love living. And I will never quit and never give up. That's what I'm prepared to do. But ultimately enough, what is business to all of you? For me, personally, it's helping as many of you possible as I can as I go through this process to teach and develop as many people as I can at the levels that I'm already at. Because I know from all the things that I've learned, the more people that you help, the more you help yourself. And that's what it has to become for all of you. Yes, you need to develop yourself as you build. Trust me, you definitely have to. You have to shift your mentality. And listen, what does this have to do about trading? Because when you start to realize your own capability, when you start to realize your own mentality behind it all, trading becomes a tool, not your life. It becomes a tool. I used to trade 50, 60 times a day. Holy crap, I was driving myself crazy. I got to this position, I probably knocked it down to about 40, maybe 30 trades a day. I got up here into this mentality, I started to look at about 2 or 3 times a day. Once I get here, I'll make even more money than all these other areas combined by trading once a month. Yeah. So the concept really is the more you advance yourself, the more you find truth within yourself, the more money you can make. Because all these things are leveraged. And they're only done so at every level. You just can't jump in and say, all right, let me pay $5,000 and get here. It just doesn't work. Money will not change your mentality. It'll corrupt it. You need to build your mentality first to be able to prepare. If you asked me for $1 million right now, and I said I was going to give it to you, could you handle it? Some of you are going to answer yes in there, right? Could you handle it? Could you handle $1 million right now? If I said I was going to give you $1 million, right? Here's you. I'm about to give you $1 million. What does it look like? Can you handle it? I could show you one way I could give it to you that you wouldn't be able to handle it if I put it all into a giant brick and dropped it on your head. See, so the mentality behind it is not so much, can you handle $1 million? It's how are you going to get your $1 million? How are you going to acquire it? And are you ready for it? Because what it takes to get it to give you $1 million is that nobody gives you $1 million. Except in the lottery, and let's just be real and just call that bullshit, right? Let's call that a dream. If you're not ready to earn and take your $1 million, nobody in their right mind's ever going to give it to you. I am ready for my $1 million. Okay. I gotta rush this along now, and I do apologize. What are you prepared to do to get it? You need to make time, you need to have money to do so, and you have to have the desire. This trifecta of stuff, if you don't have it right now, doesn't mean you can't acquire it, doesn't mean you can't adjust your time better, doesn't mean that you can't save your money better to get to that starter. It doesn't mean that you can't leverage. Excuse me for a second, I do apologize that I thought I had them all turned off. It doesn't mean that if you are building a business that you can't leverage other things, credit cards or what have you. And I'm not advocating going in debt, right? But the moment you go into business, you go into debt, people. And if you're not prepared to go into debt to make it happen, you are not prepared to make it happen. If you're not prepared to get your ass up off the couch to go to work every day to make it work and show up in your business, you will not have a job. You will not have a house. You will not have the things you want. Success is not given to anybody. It's not given to me. It wasn't given to you. And it won't be given to anybody else below us or our kids or our family or anything else. Success is not given. It's earned every day. Goals are met at certain levels, but that's not the end point. That's not the destination. It is the marker on the road. It's the mile marker. That's all the goal is. And once you pass it, it's in your rear view mirror. It becomes conversation. If you don't have a desire to get your ass out of bed every morning to make something happen, to make it work, I talked to a trader the other day. He's like, well, I can't trade because I got to work until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then, the market's off. And then I was like, what about 8 o'clock at night? Well, I watch TV with my family. And I got my own times, right? I've earned my time, right? I've hustled. I have true hustle within my soul. So I've earned my time to sit down with my family, do whatever I can do. But I also know, and they know as well, that when duty calls, man, I'm there. There ain't no pulling punches here. If you haven't made it yet, if you're not successful yet, if you're not on the road to that development or on that recovery of who you are, then you might as well pack it up and split the door now and go back to being an employee mentality. Go get a job, go find out what it is, go get a career and be happy. Okay, that's a whole other segment. It's a whole other webinar. But here today, what we're talking about is what are you prepared to do it? If you come to me and say, I got $100 I'm going to put in 8X, Okay, we don't get any money for putting in an 8X, but anybody who's going to start an account out there, anybody who's going to tell you you can go put $100 in 8X and you can make a bunch of money is bullshit. Paul says he's up an hour before his family's even up to trade because he knows. He knows he has to make his time. Back to this momentum here is that there is a certain amount of desire that if you have the money to be able to make it work, even if you got to save to it, even if you have to train for a year before you even do it, even if you have to spend everything you got just to keep everything moving forward with paying for the lessons and going through that process. If you have a problem paying for the system that we have, as low as it is, talk to us, okay? I'm not an ogre. I'm not going to sit here and say just hit the bricks, okay? But listen, it takes money. And if you want us to progress, you got to progress as well. So I have to know you're willing to progress. If you're not willing to progress, then there's the door. But if you have a problem with making the money to pay our membership fees, it's right here. Excuse my language. It's sitting its ass right here. This doesn't take much to do. Right? Took this guy 2 months. He's got his money in it, and he got an extra $130 to put into it to do whatever he wants. Christ, he could just take that money and turn it back into advertising. We'll even show you that more in advanced stuff, because we're even going to have an advanced affiliate network to where we teach you even our most private secret systems of search engine optimization. Why is search engine optimization important? Let me show you why. I just typed in, who knows who Nadex is, right? You know who Nadex is. It's the big company, right? They got millions of dollars to spend on search engine optimization. So if I typed in Nadex signals, if I type that in on the internet, we're here, the second page. Now, why is somebody above us? Well, these ones that are up here are paid ads, and Nadex Daily Pro pays for what we refer to as traffic ads. Okay, they pay for AdSense ads or AdWords basically to get different mobility in there. For us, we don't buy ads ever, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 processes that we link to on the first page just for Nadex signals. I'm not sure if Nadex still has us, because I think if I just type in Nadex, yeah, I think we're on the second page. Well, it looks like we got booted to the third page, but that's okay. That's for Nadex. That'd be crazy if we came on the first page for Nadex. But for Nadex signals and anything else, that's crazy. Brian and I created these search engine optimization processes to generate us organic traffic no matter how much Google changes. Yeah, two of our affiliates, by the way, okay, are on the first page for Nadex signals. 2 of our affiliates that use their own process are on the first page of Google, because that's what we taught them. So Brian and I decided, keep missing where that's at. There it is. But Brian and I decided that we were going to put this together and make it happen. God, I got to really express this now. I'm sorry. So you have to ask yourself, what are your goals? Are they just to survive? Are they make a business? Or are you going to make a partnership? If you're going to make a partnership, then you better be reaching out to us to get your discounts on the senior and the elite stuff and get into payment plans to get that on, to get this company to the next level for yourself, no matter what it is. And let me tell you, it's not just going to be about trading. It's going to be real estate investment. It's going to be about investing in the mutual funds and programs and other things that we have that are off-site. And when you're part of that program, when you're part of that company and you get rev shares from that, that's where it begins. And a little fun here. We want you to join us because we're building an empire. Yeah, no, not that kind of empire, right? We're building this empire, as many people as possible, to make this stuff happen. But we can only start with you. We have to get you to a point of being able to understand what we're referring to as being personally developed into a solution. Not just for us, but you too. As final thoughts, I have to tell you, I have been through a lot. I don't put my life out in the world as much as I probably should on who I am and what I've done in my life. One thing I always know is that I never give up and I never give in. I fight every day to make stuff happen. And so if that's all you know about me, that should be enough. My brother's the same way. Amy Kuiper's, same way. We have obligations to make this work. We can't do it without you. So Tuesday of next week, because this is a holiday weekend, right? Labor Day weekend. It's about the labor of it. I'm probably going to be working some through the process. I have meetings set up all afternoon. I was trying to go to fishing, but people reminded me that I had meetings that I had to be with. So yeah, I got to do it. But tomorrow and Sunday and Monday, I'm taking it easy. Yeah, you never really heard me say that too much before. But that's what it's going to be. All right. Normally, I would have a questions and answers after the fact, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do so today because I've had to squeeze that meeting in at 1 o'clock. Okay, and it's pretty big, important meeting that I have to be on. But if any of you have questions for me, please reach out to me on Facebook, reach to anybody in the chat room, in the support chat, okay? Please also know that trader rooms are for trading only. If you're in there asking a bunch of novice questions, you are in the wrong spot, baby. Get into trading. You're using your time wisely. Use the support chat, use the website, and use the training to be able to get you to that next level. I want to thank everybody who took some busy time out of your lifestyle to be here today. But this is part of it, being a part of the webinars. And there's going to be some great stuff for all of you for the affiliation. So keep that in mind. You're all going to get emails. You're all going to be pulled to this site and pulled to this company to be able to get these next levels for you. Okay, we're going to take you, advance you through the affiliate network so well over the next week that you'll all be making money if you just follow the things that we say. You'll all be able to bring in people. I can guarantee that. You just have to follow what we say. I'm Max Fairo. This is Dex Signals. I want to thank you for your time and hope you trade well.